How are you, man?
We at the Church of Comedy, boy.
Let's get it.
Yeah. Wash your hands.
That was crazy.
Hey, fucker! Somebody's bougie. Oh, my God.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Y'all blew up.
What's up, guys? Have you ever wanted to give yourself better odds on winning a bet? DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you that chance. All players who base a bet on Sunday night's basketball game between LA and Denver will have a hand in lowering the game's over-under. For every 1,000 players who bet on Sunday night's game, the over-under will drop by 1 point. The best part, though? Even if the line lowers, the odds remain even money. You can double your money by hammering the over. If that's not enough, there's also a massive title fight this weekend for UFC 258. DraftKings offers great odds and promotions on basketball, hockey, and so much more all week long. It's also safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code SMOKE when you sign up and hammer the over on Sunday night's LA-Denver basketball game. Hammer the over and improve your odds on doubling your money. Promo code SMOKE. For a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Which team is one big trade away from being odds-on favorite this season?
I would have to say Philadelphia.
What do you think? What kind of piece you feel like they need, though?
Honestly, Matt, I just said that because I didn't even know you was answering me the question. I thought you was reading it.
My fault.
I didn't know you was asking me that.
Monday, February 8th, and this is What's Burning. Jack, we had an instant classic the other night. Steph and Luka had a shootout for the ages. Steph dropped 57. Luka dropped 42. Dallas got the win. But how special are moments like this, for the NBA fans?
Man, it was special. It was a joy for me to see. And I want to reiterate on some things you said at the beginning of the season. You said Steph needs to play like this and have amazing games all season. And he's been doing that for Golden State to have a chance. Luka's been doing the same thing, but just like you said at the beginning of the season, that he needed more help. It's exciting to watch these two guys go at it, and the game is in good hands for sure.
Yes. This was, we talked at the beginning of the season, this was going to be Golden State's version of how Houston played with James last year. Although I think there's more ball movement and people are involved. Every single night, Steph's going to have to put up amazing numbers for this team to win. He's been doing it. They're floating right at the bottom of the playoff standings. But this is just a beautiful game. Steph's confidence is obviously on another level. And Luka's just a silent killer. Goes out there, doesn't take no shit, plays hard. And stuff like this happens. So it was a fun game to watch for me personally. I just enjoyed the back and forth and the ability to hit clutch shots for both those guys. And imagine this in a 7-game series. If these guys are able to maintain what they're doing and get a chance to play each other in the playoffs, 7 games of Luka and Steph would be incredible. Next up, raising their games. Donovan Mitchell's been on one. We mentioned it, a few weeks ago when Shaq low-key called him out, or actually high-key called him out, and we both thought, instead of using that as a diss, use it as motivation. It seems like Donovan's been used as a motivation. Thus far in February, he's dropped 2 30-point games, almost had a triple-double last night, and his team is at the best record in the NBA, 19-5. What are your thoughts on his play first and foremost, and how good the Jazz have been this season?
He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's been growing every year as a player, growing every year as a leader. And what Shaq said to him didn't do nothing but motivate him. A lot of people would have took that the wrong way. He knew the direction he was going. He knew the work he put in, and the results are showing now. So salute to Donovan Mitchell. But I also knew what Shaq was saying. Yeah, it's good they're 19-5 right now, but that doesn't matter until the end of the season. Where are you? Absolutely. That's what matters. You want to be a champion. And then, like I said, Donovan Mitchell's doing a great job of leading his team. I'm not taking anything away from Utah. If you want to get off to a great start, this is the way you do it. But it matters in the postseason. But Donovan Mitchell, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's definitely been elevating his game since he's been here. One of the best three-point shooting teams in the league right now. Love what Quinn Snyder's doing. We've talked about him throughout this season. But I still feel like this is possibly a team that's going into this trade deadline like, look, we're at the top of the West during the regular season. Do we need to make a move to solidify ourselves going into the playoffs? Do we need to grab a Zach LaVine? Do we need to grab a Bradley Beal? Do we need to grab that one more score that no one is even talking about that could possibly be on the trade on the move during the trade deadline? Because like I said, I think they need that one more guy. They're very consistent, but I still think they need that one more score that's in that 20-point range consistently. I love what Jordan Clarkson's doing. I love what Mike Conley's doing. Like I said, a lot of different shooters, but when it comes to the playoffs, are they going to have enough? We'll have to wait and see. Next up, Jokic dropped 50, damn near a 50-point triple-double, 15, 12, and 8, but it came in a losing effort, Jack. Talk to me about that.
Well, you just talked about teams needing to make moves. This is the team that need to make a move. You can't have Jokic do everything he's doing, 50 points, and you lose to Sacramento. Nothing against Sacramento. They got some young stars, but you can't have your star player go for 50, 12, and 8 and take an L. That's the team that need to make some moves. This is the best big man in the game right now. Well, him and Embiid. And I just don't see him having games like this and having the career he's having and not have another star. I love the young guards they have, but I really think this team needs to make another move before the playoffs, Matt.
Good point there. He's out here and I made a mistake last week or maybe 2 weeks ago when I said AD deserves to start in front of Jokic for the All-Star. I was mistaken, although AD is a tremendous talent. Jokic is on another planet this year, the way he's playing. AD's been up and down of late. So Jokic definitely deserves to start as center. But he's one of these unique talents. Obviously he can use some help, but he's one of these unicorn guys that are, skill set. There's not really a hole in his game. His ability to pass the ball like a guard, shoot the ball like a guard. No one can stop him on the block, and just his basketball IQ is off the chart. So it's beautiful to see him continue to develop. Whether the rest of the young talent around him develops as well, it's something we'll have to see. But, just watching him night in, night out has been a beautiful thing. Next up, Gordon Hayward, who's having a career year. I'm personally happy to see because I thought he was a motherfucker over there in Utah. Ended up getting hurt, didn't really work in Boston. He signed a big deal where the team took a lot of heat for him getting all that money, but he's at a career high 23 points a game, floating with the 50, 40, 90. Has that team, he's the number one option for that team, has that team playing well. He's been able to gel with their younger players. Obviously, LaMelo Ball, someone we all like, Terry Rozier. Miles Bridges is a highlight machine waiting to happen. What else do you feel Charlotte needs? They're 7th right now in the East. What else do you feel they need, Jack, to continue to improve and possibly make some noise in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, well, first of all, you got to salute the man. You get what you negotiate. He negotiated that money. He got it. But in Charlotte, I played in Charlotte. I got there my first year. We got to the playoffs. They could care less about anything but getting to the playoffs. And that's all MJ cares about. And I think having this guy on the team and the season he's having, I'm a fan of him. A lot of guys don't go through the injuries that he's went through. And to bounce back, to come back in the league, regardless what team you on, regardless how much money you're making, and back to averaging 23 points, I salute him. But he has to get this team to the playoffs in order to be respected in Charlotte.
I completely agree. I think he got lost in the shuffle. I think there was some stuff going on because he had his former college coach over there, and he came back in after an injury. And he went right to the starting lineup, and I think that rubbed a lot of the young Celtics the wrong way. So it was only a matter of time before that situation, they had to make a move there. Lands on his feet in Charlotte and hits the ground running. Like I said, playing like that Gordon Hayward that, the Utah Jazz had. So I'm happy to see it, fighting back through all these injuries. This is a very young, talented team. To me, I don't really think you rush this process. I think you continue to fill out what you have with Miles Bridges, what you have with LaMelo Ball. You know what you have with Rozier. Cody Zeller's playing hard every night. I like what this team is doing, and I like the path they're on. I think within the next 2-3 years, they'll definitely be right in the middle of the Eastern Conference, making some real noise. But like you said, none of this shit matters unless you make the playoffs. DraftKings Sportsbook gives you a chance to influence the odds on this Sunday night's Los Angeles Lakers Denver Nugget game. For every 1,000 players who bet the over on Sunday night's game, the over-under will drop by 1 point. Between LA and Denver, LeBron, AD, Jokic, Jamal Murray, there should be a lot of scoring. Hammer the over on Sunday's Denver-Los Angeles game, and you'll help lower the game's over-under. As the line lowers, the odds remain even money. You can hammer the over and still have a shot at doubling your money. DraftKings offers great odds and promotions on basketball, hockey, and much more all weekend long. Also, there's a massive title fight this weekend for UFC 258. It's safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit, withdraw your funds at your convenience. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code SMOKE when you sign up to hammer the over on Sunday night's LA-Denver basketball game. Hammer the over and improve your odds of doubling your money. Promo code SMOKE for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. We got the week ahead. We got some nice matchups. One matchup we'll start with, this Luka and Trey situation. They'll forever be linked, obviously being traded for each other on draft day. I mean, but to me, man, the trade, as great as we think Luka is, Trey has definitely been doing his thing with Atlanta. Has Atlanta sitting at 6th in the East. He's at damn near 27 points a game and 9 assists, getting to the line almost 10 times a game. While Luka's at 28 and 9, they're still trying to find their footing in the West. But this is definitely going to be must-watch TV for two of the bright stars in our league.
Yeah, man, this is a game I definitely have to watch. There's going to be a lot of scoring, a lot of playmaking. You really don't see these guys guard each other too much because Luka's a lot bigger. But just the matchup, and knowing you having two future stars on the court, both teams really, like you said, still trying to find their footing and trying to find an identity for each other. I think Atlanta is kind of leading that with the identity. Trey is really leading this team, and they really have their style of play. Luka's still fishing, but anytime these two guys can clash, it's always good TV.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, I don't think I don't think Trey gets enough credit for what he's been able to accomplish, the numbers he's been able to put up, and where he has his team right now. Obviously, Luka got a lot of the hype, and I think maybe too much hype from a standpoint of, are they living up to expectations? They haven't been able to do it this year. He personally has been playing well, but Trey has his team on the path, and Atlanta was my surprise team this year. I love what they did in free agency. I like the pickups they made, but Trey continues to improve. One of the best ball handlers, shooters, skilled players in our game. And this, like I said, this is going to be a matchup that will be talked about throughout their careers because obviously they were traded for each other. But must-watch basketball this week. It's going to be a fun one. Our next matchup to watch, KD returning to the Bay. The Nets got the best of the Warriors earlier in the season, beating them handily in Brooklyn. Golden State is finding their footing. Steph is being Steph. Oubre and Wiggins are starting to raise their game. Draymond is showing that the numbers aren't everything. He's out here doing absolutely everything on the floor to keep this team, afloat. And then Brooklyn. Brooklyn still is trying to fit their pieces together, but slowly but surely rising up in the East. What are your thoughts about KD returning to the Bay and both these teams at their current point?
It would be so much better, and we would be anticipating this game so much more if that arena was filled with people.
There was fans.
You know what I mean?
Hell, yeah.
It's gonna. I mean, they didn't already played, so I think the seeing each other and the brotherly love and all that. I think that already happened. I think the aspect of it was seeing him actually come back to that arena with fans. We're not gonna get a chance to see that. So I see it being a high scoring game. Anytime any team play against Brooklyn, you're gonna get their best shot. And Steph has been playing well, and then when Steph comes with his best shot, as you see, it's gonna be a 50-point night. So it's gonna be a good game to watch.
Yeah, like you said, Steph's been playing great, but to think on the flip side, if Steph doesn't play great, the Warriors don't have a chance. The Nets have 3 different options. You know what I mean? And if one of those guys play great, they have a great chance. If 2 of those guys play great, they have a really good chance. And if all 3 play great, the other team doesn't stand a chance. So that's the beautiful option of having those 3 fucking stars on one side. But like you said, I think the key to this is if fans were there, this would have had a lot more energy, a lot more excitement, but still the game will be played. Thoughts last week on KD's protocol where he was supposed to not warm up, was able to warm up, doesn't start, plays a little bit, gets taken out of the game. And then obviously he has an issue after the game, as he should. It's crazy. Like I said, I think the NBA is trying to figure out this contact tracing shit, but I think that was definitely a frustrating situation for him and his team.
Man, free Snipe, man, free KD. I feel his pain. Once
real.
I run up and down that court and I bump any guy and we sweating, I'm playing the game. You know what I'm saying?
Don't take me out unless I'm kicked out.
Come on, man. Let me play the game, man. They actually was doing too much. And I honestly feel KD frustration. You pulling them in and out the game. It's a big game for them. They trying to win. and he don't know if he can play or not. You get warm up late. He's not starting. He's coming in the game cold. Like, it's a lot of aspects to that would frustrate me as well. So I get it, man, but they need to get a hold of it, because once you check in the game, ain't no reason to pull you back out.
Right. And like I said, it's either got to be an all or nothing. Either he can play that day or he can't. But don't give him the option to get a sweat, start playing, and then pull him out. Like I said, either you're going to not let him play that day, or once he's in, you're going to let him rock the entire game. But I think the in and out is some bullshit. We definitely feel his pain, and we hope the NBA is able to figure this out so it doesn't have to happen to anybody else. Breaking records and milestones. Congrats to LeBron James for passing Wilt Chamberlain on the third all-time career field goals made list. Jack, I think Doc Rivers put it perfectly. Whether or not you agree LeBron is the greatest player of all time, when it's all said and done, he'll definitely have the greatest career. Thoughts on Bron and the level of play he's continuing to play at in year 18?
I'm just amazed, man, what he's been able to do in such a long time. We all had high expectations of him coming in the game, and he exceeded them all, and he's continuing to. I'm not surprised, man. We just got to enjoy greatness and understand that we're watching something that we've never seen before. One of the greatest to ever touch the court, man, and I'm honored to say I had a chance to battle against him a couple years, and to be able to watch this, man, it's just special. I'm enjoying it.
Imagine, I think you made a great point. Who has ever lived up to all this hype? I mean, the hype from the beginning was made for him to fail. All the chosen one, all the accolades, everything, all the pressure they put on this man's shoulder, and he's been able to live up to it and exceed expectations. He has a chance to pass Karl Malone to go to number 2. It'll probably take him about 4 more years of this consistency to get to Kareem. But at the end of the day, they're right in the hunt to win another championship, possibly 2. I mean, I don't see what you can say about LeBron negatively. I think it's crazy when people want to talk about his win-loss record in the finals. The fact that he's consistently getting there is the key to me. Obviously, you want to win, but shit, he's done everything you can do to win once you get there. So it's going to be interesting. It's been beautiful to watch. And I just wish people appreciated him more, Steph more, James more, KD more, instead of always trying to critique, because you have to understand when it's all said and done, these guys are gone. You're going to be missing some of the greatest players to ever touch the ball, touch this floor. And I think too often people take more time critiquing and talking shit instead of just enjoying their greatness. Next step, Carmelo Anthony passing Dominique Wilkins for 13th on the all-time scoring list. We've both been big advocates for Melo to get back in the game. After nearly 4,000 people have played in the NBA, to be 13th all-time is a hell of an accomplishment. Jack, talk to me about Melo.
That's a testament to his career, man. We all knew how important Melo was to the game. We knew the dominant offensive player he was. And, this is just another testament to all the work he's done. I'm glad he's getting a shot. He's getting a bigger role in Portland now, with them dealing with a lot of injuries. But I'm happy for Melo, man. It's just a testament to career and shows why he's going to belong in the Hall of Fame.
I definitely want to salute Melo for being able to almost reinvent himself. Someone who's such a tremendous scorer his whole career, has always been the go-to guy, has always consistently got in that 20 to 25 shots a game range, to be able to reinvent himself. And I think for a minute he was having a hard time, and I think that's why, along with some other bullshit, I think what the NBA was doing, he wasn't able to get a job. But I think he kind of accepted his role and understood what teams are looking for now, and he's still able to be himself. And like you said, with Portland down in numbers, obviously his role is going to increase, and there's something he's been doing his whole career, so it won't be a problem for him. But definitely glad he got a second chance. Love what he's doing out there. And yeah, absolutely first ballot Hall of Famer, Carmelo Anthony. Again, congratulations.
Congrats.
Last but not least, Fred VanVleet, who has been on an absolute tear, dropped a career high in Raptors record, 54 points, knocking DeMar's record by 2 points, setting also the record for undrafted player to be able to come and drop 50, sign that big $85 million contract this year. Couldn't be happy for this guy. One, obviously, because he's making his dreams come true, but then he's showing the rest of the guys out here, you can still make it regardless. Some guy that wasn't drafted, he's small. I'm sure there's a lot of different knocks on him, but this guy is definitely a prominent scorer in this game, dropping 50s and getting paid. And like I said, I just love the fact that he's been able to do what he does, but also encourage the rest of the youngsters out there, letting them know that, hey, you don't have to go to a big name school. You necessarily don't even have to be drafted. You just have to believe in yourself and keep being a dog, and you might get a shot.
I'm happy for him. Fred is doing great, man. I think he came into that situation with not really knowing if he was going to play. Trades happened. He ended up starting. Now look at him. He's the best scorer on the team to me. You know, he's playing with a lot of confidence. And it's all about getting the opportunity, man. A lot of people don't even get an opportunity to get a chance to show what they can do. He got his opportunity, took advantage of it, and you see what's happening. Big contract. He just showing he belongs in this league. And I don't think this is the end of us talking about him this year. I think he's going to have a great year.
No, absolutely. Definitely one of the scorers, one of the best, undrafted scorers we've seen. His ability to answer when he got his chance, he did that, had a big finals to help them win, and now he's being rewarded. So like I said, I think it's a beautiful thing for him, but also, encouraging to the people coming behind him. Jack, we got a new segment. It's not a new segment, but it's a new segment for What's Burning, and we're going to start incorporating our fan questions into What's Burning. So let's get to it. First question from the Black_Cal_L. Which team is one big trade away from being odds-on favorite this season?
I would have to say Philadelphia.
So you got Philly. I think Utah is one trade away. Obviously, they're sitting with the best record in the league, but I still feel like they're going to need some more firepower come playoff time. So I think, like I said earlier, a Beal, a Levine, someone we're not even thinking of to possibly be that either that number 2 guy or number 1 guy that's going to get you that 20 to 25 consistently every night. I think they're definitely one trade away. But, both the teams, Philly and Utah, are right there, and it's going to be fun to see what they do coming down the stretch.
Next question, at Slim_Ville. Why do you guys think the effort on defense has subsided so much in the past 10 years?
Man, good question. I think it's the changing of the game. We hung our hat on defense. I'll be obviously able to do other things, but we really took pride in defense. And I don't think the game is there anymore. One, because the league wants more scoring and highlights, and I think that's where they're at right now. So they would definitely rather see, a 130 game than a 89 to 90 defensive battle. So, I think scoring is at a premium. Scoring is encouraged. So there's just not that much focus on defense anymore. And the fact that it's like fucking flag football out there, you can't really play defense if you wanted to. All the touch fouls they're calling and all that soft shit they're calling really is a disadvantage to the defense. So I think the way the rules have changed and what the NBA wants, which is scoring, is the reason why we've seen defense non-existent.
Yeah, the game has definitely grown, but you got to think, all the guys that really played like we played, all the gritty guys, they kicked them out the league. So that's another reason defense is not the way it is no more. Let's be real. Yeah, it's a lot of scoring. The rules are different, but the motherfuckers who got down and cared about stopping motherfuckers, they're at home doing what we doing.
Especially, man, shout out Trevor Ariza, man. He's sitting at home right now still getting paid, which is great, but he's one of those 3 and D guys. Someone will get in your face, and he can't find a home right now. So, I think that perfectly goes to what you were saying. Next question from Kevin McCadney. What team has been the biggest disappointment this season, and what team has been the biggest surprise? Jack, biggest disappointment to you this year?
The biggest disappointment to me is the Dallas Mavericks. I felt they should have did something this summer to help this guy. Luka's just a stud, man, one of the best players in the league. And I'm just disappointed with the start they're getting off to. Obviously, KP is in and out, and they just didn't make the moves. Hopefully they'll make them before the trade deadline. But Dallas is definitely a team that hasn't been living up to what I expected.
I completely agree. After what they did in the playoffs last year, the way Luka played, the expectations this year were through the roof. They may have been too high, but I agree they didn't really make any moves to strengthen this roster that are really going to be impactful. KP has been in and out. When he's played, he's been outstanding. But getting him to play every night has been the key. So, like I said, those two consistently playing together, plus one more trade piece at the deadline possibly can help them. They've definitely been the most disappointing team to me this season. To you, biggest surprise this season?
My biggest surprise, I would have to say, is Houston. Nobody knew how they would gel. Nobody knew how this team would come together with everything the way they started with James not wanting to be there. But now you see this team starting to roll, and Oladipo is settling in. John is kind of leading his team. And Boogie and the young kid, Chris Wood, they're really holding things down in the paint. So shout out to Steve Silence for dealing with the rough start of the ship, but now he got him smooth sailing. I'm happy with the way Houston is rolling.
I agree. That's a good call. I think probably my surprise is the Utah Jazz. Always a solid regular season team. So I kind of say this with a little hesitation because the regular season only means so much. But, they definitely put together a great start to the season. Best record in the league, shooting the three-point ball at an amazing clip. And they're just a fun team to watch. Like I said, we compared them to the San Antonio Spurs earlier where you can just plug and play guys. They have a great system, great coach. You just plug guys in, and they know what they have to do. So they've definitely been a fun team for me to watch this year and looking forward to see what they do down the stretch.
Next fan question. NY_Kid15. If you had a third host, who would it be and why?
Ooh, good question. Good question. I got two people here. I would go with either Kendrick motherfucking Perkins or KG. I think obviously KG's energy is electric. I think he would bring a crazy dynamic to the show. And then Perk, Perk cusses more than me and you put together. We can get him off that Perk. Just don't pass him the wet blunt. And I think he'd be a hell of a host too. So either one of those two dudes would be good with me.
Me, I would say a real motherfucker like Kerry Champion or Jamel Hill. I think a woman would be great on our show. To add another shit talking dynamic, another woman that ain't too sensitive that can take our shit talking, but also knows sports. And there's a lot of females out there that know sports like we do. I think that'll be a dope asset.
Yeah, that'd be huge to have a female co-host. That would be dope. I mean, although we're doing our thing, that would be dope. Closing the show with quick hitters. First topic: Julius Randle, 22.6, almost 11 rebounds a game. Nearly 6 assists. Jack, is he worthy of his first All-Star nod this year?
I think so, man. I mean,
before you answer, he's got the Knicks in playoff contention right now on top of it.
Yeah, and it's me. I got to be real. They always want a Nick in the All-Star game for some reason, but he deserves it. He deserved it. I'm just saying he deserved it. He playing well, bro. But in a playoff picture and in the playoffs, it's two different things, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, a lot of times you get overshadowed. I was in Charlotte and we made the playoffs, and I didn't make the All-Star game, but he definitely deserves it. And I just want them to make it because making the All-Star game and not making the playoffs, that's asinine.
No, I agree. He's definitely playing the part. Glad he's found his spot. You know what I mean? In LA, you saw his potential. In New Orleans, you saw more potential. And then in New York, you've seen what kind of player we all thought he can be. He's a bull in a china shop out there. They just picked up Derrick Rose yesterday in a trade. So hopefully that'll help them strengthen their playoff picture. But as far as just individual accolades and being ready for an All-Star, I definitely think he deserves that nod this year. Next up, John Morant at nearly 19 points a game, 7 assists. Memphis is in the playoff mix. The West is loaded with guards. Jack, is Morant ready for the All-Star spotlight, or will he get his opportunity this year?
I mean, is he ready? Yeah, he's ready. His game is ready, but will it happen? No, it won't happen. I mean, he's a guy that we're high on, we love, I'm a fan of. But you got to look at his competition right now in the West. There's too many guards that they're going to throw ahead of him. That's going to make that team. But does he deserve it? I think he does. But you got too many guards with bigger names that teams that's at the top of the Western Conference that he got to go up against, and that's always the case.
Yeah, and what kind of scares me about this situation, Jack, is it might be this way for a long time. He's in that Memphis market. The West is loaded with guards, Dame and CJ, Clay and Steph, Booker hasn't really got his nod yet. There's a lot of strong guards in the West. Is Morant's game at an All-Star level? Definitely. But will he get that nod? It's going to take – I don't know what it's going to take. I think his team is going to have to probably be like a top 3 or 4 team for people to realize his importance. But just as far as being an All-Star, I definitely think he has the talent. But it might be a while before he actually gets an All-Star nod for the reasons we just mentioned. Christian Wood – out several weeks with an ankle injury. Obviously, it's better than they thought, but he'll be down for a while. Jack, how does this affect the Rockets?
Injuries are a part of the game, as we know. But and anytime one of your guys go down, you have to look at the good side of it. And the flip side is Boogie gets to go in. He should be starting anyway in my mind, but he gets to go in, get more reps, and get back in shape. And it gives Chris Wood a chance to get stronger. He still doesn't have that NBA body. This is the time for him to get stronger, kind of put a little muscle on so he can come back and deal with the pushing and banging down there in the paint. But I just look at the flip side of it, man. The good side is Christian Wood can get stronger and Boogie gets a chance to get back in the swing of things.
Yes, it's always the next guy up in this league. And I agree that should be the starting 4 and 5 for the Rockets. But just really happy for Christian Wood and what he's been able to accomplish and really find a home. And then again, happy for Boogie to kind of get his footing back, get more minutes in that rotation, and work his way back to the level of play we all know and love Boogie for. Yesterday, Derrick Rose was traded back to the New York Knicks, reunited him with Coach Tibbs, where he's played the best basketball of his career. Jack, thoughts on Derrick reuniting with his coach, but then going to the Knicks?
I mean, I like it. I mean, I think he was just, existing in Detroit. I think he can go there and kind of get a new life back with the new coach. They got some great young guards there. Quickly's been playing well, and they still have the young kid from Duke. What's his name, man? Remind me real quick. RJ. They still
RJ
have
Barrett.
him. Yeah, RJ Barrett. So, but these, I love it. I love it. I think he's going to do great. Like I said, it's anytime you get a change like that and going back and playing in the Garden, it gives you a new life. And I think that'd be a good fit for D Rose.
Yeah, happy for D Rose, reunited with Tibbs. Want him to find his form and his footing. Still 32. I still think he has a handful of years. But I also want to touch on the flip side of this trade and Dennis Smith and salute him, man. He was someone who was at the end of the bench, end of Tibbs' rotation. He wasn't complaining, asked to go to the D League just to keep his game fresh, and then gets an opportunity to get traded. And hopefully he'll get some time with Detroit. But definitely hats off to him because guys have been in that situation and kind of imploded and they become fucked up teammates and divided the locker room. But that kid went about his business, asked to go down to the G League and now gets traded. So hopefully he get a new life in Detroit and get a chance to play. But happy for D Rose again to be back with Tibbs, and hopefully he can find some of that all-star form he had with them in Chicago. Jack, we both did something that we said we shouldn't do, which was bet against the GOAT, and he proved us wrong. Congratulations on the Bucks for their second Super Bowl and Tom Brady for number 7.
Wow.
Incredible. They dominated from start to finish. Thoughts on the game yesterday?
We said we shouldn't go against them, but I gotta reiterate what Tom said. He said they haven't played good football all year. They haven't played their best game, and they waited to play their best game of the year in the Super Bowl at home. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to all the black coaches in the head positions, man. And shout out to that defense. I don't think the defense is getting enough credit to shut Kansas City defense down. This is the first Mahomes quarterback control team that didn't get a touchdown. So shout out to the defense.
Yeah. Yeah, being able to shut Kansas City's offense down, I can completely agree. What they were able to do, you touched on, they had kept saying they hadn't played their best football. They obviously saved it for last, but at one point they were 7-5, and then to reel off 7 straight wins, going into the playoffs, beating Washington, ending Drew Brees' career in New Orleans, beating the MVP Aaron Rodgers, and then being able to beat the next man that's supposed to be replace Brady, which was
Right.
Mahomes, and they completely shut him down. It was just a beautiful game. One thing I love, though, too, outside of Tampa Bay's coaching staff and the diversity within their coaching staff, the people that Tom brought with him. Gronk showed up big in this game, 2 touchdowns. AB showed up big in this game with a big touchdown. And he was able to bring his guys with him and to get a ring. So, there was a lot of talk about, was it a Belichick team? Was it a Brady team? What Brady was able to do to come over to the NFC and do what he's been doing in the AFC his whole career was very impressive. And if it's not the most impressive feat of his career, it's definitely up there at the top, man. Again, salute to the GOAT and his 7 rings.
Coaches direct you to the championship. Players win championships.
Jack, before we forget, we definitely want to shout out 2 former guests of the program, Charles Woodson and Calvin Johnson, on being selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame last year, man. Salute to those guys. Happy for them and definitely deserved it.
Congrats, bros.
Last but not least, Jack, All-Star is set in Atlanta. And I think, I've been doing a lot of talking on ESPN and everyone's been doing a lot of talking, but I don't think we've really listened to the players. In the last week, you've heard LeBron come out. You've heard De'Aaron Fox come out. you've heard a few other guys come out and say they really don't want to play. And I think, me personally, I think we obviously made a mistake on not listening to the guys that have to actually do it. I was all for the AllStar Game because I think it's been great competition. The proceeds are going to a great cause. But at the same time, understanding the position they're in, with the crazy schedule last season in the bubble and then coming back to an abbreviated season, but everything crammed on top of each other. I know a lot of these guys were looking forward to just getting 5 days off and spending with their family. And now the NBA has pretty much forced them to do the All-Star Game. So, on my behalf, I kind of want to apologize because being a former player, I think we should have thought more on what the players really wanted to do instead of what the league wanted to do.
Yeah, in the past, Matt, it made sense because the All-Star Weekend was beneficial for everybody. If you do an All-Star Weekend now, it's just beneficial for the league. The families can't come. The players don't really want to be there. They can't really enjoy the festivities of All-Star Weekend due to COVID and everybody social distance. So, no, this is a selfish move by the NBA. And just like Kawhi said, it's only a business move. It has nothing to do with the players. And you have to think about your players because they're the ones carrying your league.
Absolutely. Like I said, it was brought to my attention first with De'Aaron Fox, and then LeBron stamped it. Kawhi spoke on it. A couple other guys spoke on it. We really got to listen to our players, especially in a season like this with all the craziness that's been going on. So I'm always going to side with players. So unfortunately, kind of is what it is. Hopefully everyone stays injury-free and healthy, and we can consume the second half of the season once this is over. That's a wrap this week on What's Burning. You can catch us every Monday on Showtime Basketball YouTube and our Twitter. Follow us at Show Basketball.
And make sure you follow us on Twitter for the latest in What's Burning.
How are you, man?
We in the Church of Comedy, boy.
Let's get it.
Wash your hands.
That was crazy.
Hey, fucker! Somebody's bougie. Oh, my God.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Y'all blew up.